Hi, if I may ask you, have you ever studied really hard for an exam, pulling all-nighters, taking endless notes, but when the results came out, you didn't do as well as you expected? It feels unfair, right? But the problem isn't always your effort. Sometimes, it's that you didn't clearly know what the lecturer wanted or what the actual exam would look like. Now imagine the same thing in the workplace. Employees might work day and night, but if the goals aren't clear, or if the feedback only comes once a year, the final judgment often feels confusing and even demotivating. Traditionally, companies used to rely on annual performance appraisals, where basically your boss would say, "Just work, I don't care how, I will judge you at the end of the year." Well, that sounds pretty scary, doesn't it? But here's the problem. If feedback only comes once a year, the employee don't get the chance to adjust or improve along the way. So it's like playing games where the referee only tells you the rules after the match is already over. So it's totally useless. So that's why modern organizations moved from annual performance review to regular and ongoing performance management. So what actually is performance management? In simple terms, it's a systematic process that helps organizations to align their goals with employees' work, ensures that everyone knows what's expected of them, and provide continuous support and feedback to achieve both individual growth and organizational success. Over the years, different scholars and practitioners have developed several models to explain and implement performance management. There are 9 models like Deming's PDCA, 360-degree feedback, Costello, you name it. Each has its own unique approach and strengths. Now, you might be wondering, if the performance management has clear definition, then why do we have so many models? Well, the truth is, organizations are not identical. Each company has their own cultures, goals, industries, and ways of working. So that's why different models exist. Some are specialized and others are more general. And in some practice, a company often combine them to find the best fit. So now, I will focus on one of the most influential and widely discussed model, the Armstrong and Baron's model. So is this model designed only for a type of company in specific, or is it more like universal? The good news is Armstrong and Baron's model is considered as one of the most general and flexible models of performance management. It doesn't belong to any single type of company in specific or like industry and organizations. Instead, it's focusing on aligning strategies with individual performance, encouraging continuous feedback, and supporting employees' development. So those are principles that every organization needs, whether you're running a small business, a government agency, a startup, or even multinational company. So now, before we get into the example, I will tell you something. I love readings, and one of my favorite apps for read is Adobe Acrobat. I believe that many of you have used Adobe's product like Acrobat, Photoshop, or Illustrator. So Adobe is popular not only for its creative software, but also for its innovative approach in managing people. So yes, indeed, I will tell you how Armstrong and Baron's model is implemented to Adobe. So this model is described as a performance cycle with 8 important stages. To make it simple, think of it like preparing for a long road trip. You need a destination, you need a plan, you need a check-ins, and finally the review of how well you did. So right now, I will break down the 8 stages of this model. Number 1 is organizational mission and strategic objectives. So in Armstrong and Baron's model, everything starts with mission and strategy. Basically, the company's vision and long-term goals. In Adobe, their mission is to change the world through digital experiences, and their strategy is to help people collaborate, communicate, and create digitally. So this sets the tone for how employees should align their work. And then number 2 is business or departmental plans and objectives. The second stage zooms in. Each department translates big mission into specific objectives. So at Adobe, for example, the Creative Cloud team focuses on innovation in design tools, while the Document Cloud teams, which make Acrobat, focuses on productivity and collaboration. And then number 3 is performance and development agreement or performance contract. This is where the managers and employee agree on what successes look like, both in performance and development. So at Adobe, instead of rigid annual targets, managers and employees use check-in systems to set clear expectations. So they just not agree on results but also on growth, like learning new skills. Number 4 is performance and development planning. Once the agreement is there, you move to planning. At Adobe, they encourages employees to outline specific development steps like taking online courses or experimenting with new creative tools. So this is like planning a trip. You don't just say, I will go to Bali, but you have to consider the flight, the hotel, and everything else. Number 5 is work and development action. Now comes the action stage, actually doing the work and developing yourself. At Adobe, employees take ownership. A designer experiments with new features, or leaders or managers that test leadership styles. It's very hands-on. Think of it like cooking. You can read recipes all day, but the actual progress is when you start chop and stir and taste. Number 6 is ongoing monitoring and feedback. So this is one of Adobe's biggest innovation. It might be applied on other companies as well. So basically, instead of one big review at the end of the year, they introduced continuous feedback through regular check-ins. So it's like checking your car fuel during a trip. You don't want to wait the car stops on the highway until you realize you're out of gas. So it means that frequent conversations help employees to improve theirs, and believe me, it will make them feel over the moon. Number 7 is formal review and feedback. At certain points, there's still formal discussion, but it's lighter than the old school annual review. At Adobe, managers summarize progress in a structured way, focusing on development rather than punishment. So think of it like mid-semester report. It's not about saying you failed, but it's more showing areas that you could improve, so you still have time to fix yourself, to enhancing your skill. And then the last one, number 8, is comprehensive assessment and rewards. Finally, the cycle closes with recognition and rewards. So at Adobe, this comes in the form of bonuses, career enhancement, and public appreciation. So importantly, the rewards are linked not only into the results but also to how employees live the company's values. So after what I've been saying in short, Armstrong and Baron's model helps us understand the performance management as a journey, starting from mission, going through planning and action, and until the review and rewards. Just like in life, whether it's reading books, cooking, planning a trip, success is not only one big event, but it's about setting goals, making plans, checking progress, and celebrating achievements along the way. So if you want to build a company one day, you might use this model. It's not that rocket science though. Perhaps I will use this model as well if I want to build a company one day. So if you have opinion, please let me know in the comment below. Thank you and have a good day.